Last we left our heroes, the Battle of the Gate of Hell was nearing its end, at least for you. The Harbinger of Asmodeus' war had succeeded in opening the Hell Gate, and the Legion of Hell marched upon Vesaria. You stood tall and fought their leaders, but knew that for your plan to succeed, you would need to appear to lose this battle. In reality, you would be using Azu's fate to step backwards in time and shift away from this moment of war, and instead drop into the demi-plane of time and being scrambled through rapidly deteriorating anomaly you had just caused within it. As you ran through, constructs of the demi-plane pursued you, swarming towards you, and this anomaly at the heart of time. And as you prepared to fight, you suddenly were shrouded in intense light and divine grace as you were carried away from this moment. As you blinked away that light, you found yourselves atop Mount Celestia, in the highest of heavens, and in the company of the Bastions, the gods of your homeland. They spoke to you of bravery and your sacrifice, and came to reward you with divine boons that were given to each of you. And one last boon that would protect you through the worst to come. Finally, with telepathic words of caution in regards to the secret weapon you carry, and to know to strike before the final bell tolls, Mistra gave you these little words of wisdom before sending you backwards 15 hours in time to a noonday sun in the ruins of Thaluna. You quickly gathered yourselves and teleported to your keep on the outskirts of Arendelle. Here you rested, though difficult for some, before you gathered once more and plunged into the icy cold depths of Cania. With 4 hours until your past selves would slip beyond time, and the gate is barricaded by the ruins of a fallen city. You now look upon a hooked cliff of ice and snow, and you see the ferryman awaits you. Several layers of tattered brown robes and cloak swirl in the perpetual gale, and beyond you can see a glistening red river that winds its way through icy channels and serpentine bends across the infernal glacial plains. As we begin tonight, what do you do?
All right, everyone. Best behavior. Not looking at anyone in particular. Staring directly at Hondo. Let's go talk to this ferryman. Gambino gave us some soul coins. That should be enough to pay us to go through. And remember, don't say anything about why we're here. It's just,
But if they don't take the coins, we kill them?
Oh, no matter what. First
Probably
of all,
not,
hell,
probably
devils. Things are a little weird here. Secondly, it seems like this part's been taken care of. Doesn't mean that the journey's going to be smooth, though. So no one can know we're here. No random little imps or shit can run and go tell whoever the fuck's, above them. If we can sneak and be quiet, we should probably fucking do it. Because we also, at the end of this day, have to try not to die. So.
Do we need to disguise ourselves?
That's actually not a bad idea.
If we get closer to shit, maybe.
Maybe just keep your, if you got a hood up or something like that, let's just try and look a little inconspicuous.
Is there anything around us, Kyle, in terms of movement? Or is it pretty quiet?
Make a perception check. And I will also ask while you're making that, with the exception of Hondo, none of you have cold protections as resistances or anything like that. Are you dressed in your winter attire, like your heavy winter attire? Because you do have that, and I would give you obviously as part of your.
Yeah,
prep,
we knew we were
easy.
Coming here.
Exactly, it's not a surprise. So, in part of kind of your point about being covered up, you all do have thick kind of parkas and multiple layers of cloaks and hoods and stuff like that. But I will point out, you look humanoid. You look, the devils here aren't going to be wearing that kind of attire. So you will stand out as opposed to other devil figures. So to Hondo's point, having some other plan in mind may be something to consider as you continue. Mary, what did you roll?
Sorry, I was just doing math on a different page. Dirty 20? No, 19.
Okay. From this position, and you're not sure if it's just Cania itself is like a very barren, like Arctic like landscape where there's not a whole there aren't like cities and structures very often. There's not a whole lot on the horizon. You don't see any movement of other devils or creatures. You do see on the river down below, and you can see like a path, a loose path of like where someone has trudged up from it. You do see gently kind of tethered to a simple looking dock, a skiff boat that presumably the ferryman will be using shortly. But you watch, you can see across the river, and it snakes long, far away across the horizon. Like there are massive ice pillars that rise up out of the river and out of the land around. But it snakes and winds all over in these small channels and large. It's not like a single river that winds. So to navigate is difficult. Hence the ferryman. But you don't see any other activity.
What do we know about the souls that are normally carried by the ferryman? Like, is it like an actual thing where people look like humanoids would potentially ride with the ferryman to get ferried to other places, or is that not our understanding of it?
You can make a religion check if you like.
Oh no. Okay. Natural one.
Yeah, not your expertise, honestly.
Nope.
There are multiple different stories of like how this could happen, but like in reality, no clue.
Yep. Okay. I'm not attuned to my fancy disguise hat. I don't think Allie is to her tattoo either.
No, I'm not.
Let's just put parka hoods up and let's, just go to the ferryman. Maybe we can just get this boat to ourselves.
Well, I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about onlookers.
If anyone asks, we just lie and say we're on a mission for a archdevil. We can't fucking talk about it.
You're welcome to try. I think we need to make sure that we, again, are as quiet as possible. If anyone has any other ideas, I don't want to burn too much in terms of spells, but just in case, let's get ready.
I will add one element here. If you wanted to adjust your attunements, you could have done so in the time leading up to this point. This part of the plan is not a surprise to you. Like this is something that you could have prepared for in the evening or the morning. If you had items to attune to differently, you can make that call. But you got to make it now before we continue. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But it's just an option that I would allow you to swap something now if you wanted. But that means that you would swap back later.
We have to make sure we get a short rest to swap back, which right now we think we have the time for.
You've given yourselves that for sure.
Yeah.
At least you hope.
Yeah.
Let me just check. The only thing I would consider is the Warden of the Fae switching the elemental thing.
But I think that's only at long rest, I thought.
That's what I'm just checking.
Yours is short now.
Great.
But you also, you could have done that when you woke up this morning. So.
Oh yeah, short rest. So maybe I'll have it.
We might not be in Cania that long, but that we might not be in Cania that long. Like I don't think we're going to short rest as soon as we get out of here.
Then I'll just keep fire. We're going to hell.
Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, you see the ferryman not particularly far away from you, about 50, 60 feet up on this kind of ridge. You guys begin to make your way towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it makes sense, if you're okay with it, then I will try to have like at least a hat of disguise, and I'll try to make sure I swap back later.
Yep. What do you swap?
The shield.
Okay.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, no problem. It just tucks underneath the thick hat and hood of your winter attire. As you guys begin to trudge forward, the winter gear here barely covers the biting cold. This is an unnatural frigid temperature. Even to Hondo, who is naturally resistant as a result of the depths of the frigid seas, this is cold. Not so much that you're going to be taking damage, but like this is the coldest that you've ever felt. To the rest of you, one, from previous experience, but two, just already the feeling like any exposed skin for an extended period of time could sustain significant damage, frostbite, and it would be bad. So you don't want to be too long in exposed areas here, and the river will be an exposed area. So keep that in mind. But as you begin to make your way towards the ferryman, he is unmoving, though you see cloak kind of rippling all around, and you see as you get closer, head is kind of bowed and the hood is just kind of clinging to, but you see as the wind whips under and kind of fills the hood with with air, a skeletal kind of lower jaw and kind of just under like the cheekbones. Can't quite make out anything of the torso as it is heavily wrapped, but you can see like a skeletal neck every so often, and seems to be more skeletal in nature. And you do see one bony hand set on top of what looks like a staff, or just potentially like a long oar or stick, because the base of it is buried within about 2 feet of snow and ice, and he's unmoving as one hand and one stump are just clutched on top it and just kind of waiting in this kind of frozen statuesque position. And as you grow closer and closer, within 10-15 feet, you watch as he kind of just like, you hear this kind of audible as he begins to kind of shift and like awaken, and like you watch ice that had accumulated just shatter and fall off of him as he looks up. You can hear the bones kind of grinding as he awakens to say, "You're early, and you stink of the heavens." And he puts his one hand out to you.
Passage for 5. So I put the soul coins out.
You give all 3?
Yeah.
They heavily kind of sit in his hand, and to your hand, even through your glove, you can feel this just vibration and pure, like you can actually feel evil. You can feel, especially with like the godly boons about you and your path of so much light, this is ultimate evil as you hand it across to him. And he kind of like chuckles low, hefts it in his other hand, and you stows it within multiple layers. And then he also kind of holds out his stump. "I think you have something else of mine."
Well, that was
That's
yours.
hand.
Reach in the bag, take up the hand, give it back.
Oh, much obliged.
Glad to give a hand.
Follow me. And he just begins to walk directly past you, trudging through, and leads you down to the skiff Mary noticed before. You come to the edge of the river Styx, and there is a kind of a plank across from this simple frozen dock to a skiff of about 40 feet long, 20 feet wide. At the front edge that is kind of pointed out into the river, there's about a 10-foot long pointed stern like an icebreaker. The interior is open to the elements, but it has these kind of half walls that go around the sides with 2 obvious breaks on both sides for boarding and deboarding. At the back is a slightly stepped up platform where you can see like rudder control and a taller wall that kind of encompasses the backside that would give more like a 3/4 cover up to like the shoulder, depending on your height, upper back. On the left and right, also in the back, you see 2 wooden propeller style paddles that are kind of like rotating paddles that are attached on either side of the helm. As the ferryman stands kind of at the docks and just gestures for you to board. You can also see in the middle of the deck a fixed bench, like a thick bench, or potentially even storage. You notice sections of it has like hinges that goes about 20 feet long and is about 5 feet wide, enough that you could sit side by side on and face opposite directions. But it runs the length, about 20 feet long, of the inside of the skiff. And attached, you also see on the underside of both sides of this kind of bench storage area are several other long oars. But the ferryman says, "Hurry now, hurry. We must be moving."
Start to
Yeah,
get
let's
in.
do it.
Does that I'll ask the ferryman. Does that did that coin come with a little insider advice?
Whatever it is you think you're about to do will be my first advice. But I imagine that will go unheeded.
What's your normal not Corey, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm
Clientele?
looking for?
Clientele.
No.
Oh,
clientele
like
can work, but
passengers,
stuff.
like
It's the stuff in a boat
yeah.
that you're
Cargo?
transport.
Do you want cargo? Cargo will do.
Yeah.
Valentine's just on your shoulder, just
Yeah.
volunteering.
What's your standard cargo? How much? You mentioned we don't exactly fit in here. How can we fit in a little better?
Well, if you don't value your lives very much, I would say that would be probably closest if you happen to keel over in the next hour or so, or happen to want to take out any grudges on any of your others here. Now would be the time if you want to fit in. But no, normally I only ferry the dead. And in truth, not this way.
Never other devils, other locals.
No need to ferry the souls who don't come back here. They spawn a little lower.
Would you be opposed to me making it a little more inconspicuous for us on your boat with some magic?
If you value your lives, I think it would be wise. I will give one tad bit of warning.
Yeah.
Don't touch the drink, and certainly don't drink it.
Immediately look to Hondo. Hondo, do not touch that. Don't drink it. Don't touch it.
Don't swim in it.
I'll try my best.
Oh God.
The river Styx is potent. To the creatures of this realm, perhaps, have become accustomed. Some not so much. But to mortals, well, I could be ferrying you if you do, I'll say that.
Who said we're mortals?
He just kind of looks at you and like cocks his head.
Really? Could I
He just,
try
just
and
walks up to the helm.
could I start if I sit on that bench? You tell me if this is shenanigans. Could I cast Liamon's tiny hut around us? It can be a dome. It needs 10 feet of radius.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll start ritually casting that. It takes a minute.
10-foot radius.
10-foot radius around and above you.
So 10-foot radius, if you cast it kind of in the middle of that bench, would be the
That's what I was
full
thinking.
bench.
Yeah.
And 20 feet wide, so right to the edges, basically perfectly filling the middle with a little bit of, like, you wouldn't catch the helm if that comes up. The helm is outside. And there's about a 10-foot section of standing room in front on the, whatever the front is called, where that wouldn't be in the event that you guys are moving about and in need of knowing where you are. But yeah, absolutely.
Wait. I'm going to start doing that. And what was the other thing with it?
As you're doing it ritually?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it said, so the spell ends, you can command the interior to become dimly lit or dark. The dome is opaque from the outside, or any color you choose, but it's transparent from the inside. So I would just try and make it dark, try and match the wood of this boat if I can like choose a color just to try and make it blend in.
Yeah, the wood is I mean, it's just a typical kind of wood color. It's not going to look like a wood texture,
Totally.
so to speak, but obviously. But you can match the color identically. I would say that
Sweet.
you were pretty skilled in that regard. The light inside is more for you guys
Okay.
than it is, because it's opaque. So, like, it's not going
True.
to go out.
Cast out.
But I would say, like, if you're going to want at least a low light for yourselves. Although light also filters through, so you could also say dark. It's still light here. It would still light in.
Yeah, and then it's just translucent.
Yeah. Can you confirm for me before we even get started here? Then, what are the ramifications of like casting in and out, and what like you can't leave or the dome drops, but everyone else can walk freely?
The spell ends if you leave its area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. The spell fails if it's an area, if the area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Creatures and objects within the dome when you cast the spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, regardless of weather outside.
That's actually an awesome inclusion.
Yeah, so it is much more comfortable in here. However, that is going to be for the spellcasters of the crew. If you're casting outside of the dome, you will not be affecting anything beyond the dome. And that includes your own party members if they happen to get beyond.
Yep.
So if something pops off, just know that that is going to be a hurdle to overcome, or it could just be a Valentine's got to drop it. And you can freely drop it, or you can just walk out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a free action to drop a spell. So, okay. If there's any last things before we head off, as the ferryman just like begins to like just begin to push away from the dock, or any other preparations, or are we good?
I just asked how long of a journey are we expecting before the fall?
He says, be there within the hour to the Forgotten Lake and the winding fathoms below. It's 1 hour.
What do we face when we get there?
Oh, well, as he begins to push off and begin the trek, an hour on the clock now, he says, actually, I will ask for a persuasion check to see how much he'll get.
We got our most persuasive person on the case.
I'll make a point of reminding him that as we're not the usual kind of cargo, he's taking a risk here too, so it'd be best if we all blend in. Okay, that's okay, but I can now add a superiority die to my persuasion checks.
Oh.
I rolled less good on that, but overall it's still not bad. 17.
Yep, I mean, that's enough. I had, adjusted the DC because you paid him 3 platinum soul coins up front. Like maybe it would be different if there was more of a, I'm going to hold back payment until we're safe. With having full payment up front, he doesn't really care how this goes. So like, doesn't make a difference to him. So the DC was much, much easier. He says, as you kind of end with trying to kind of pitch to him that like his safety, is also an element here. He says, I'm not worried about myself. We ferrymen sit outside the normal order of the hells, but we still get the luxury of returns. An odd thing being parts of multiple different worlds, and one of those being hells. As for you, well, the lake itself, obviously treacherous, and the winding fathoms below, several drops down to a maelstrom of the Styx, and a ending 1,000 fathoms down in a portal to the Nine. However, our journey will take us after the second drop off, of course. Let's just hope we aren't being followed too closely. However, all this being said, as you're traveling, and not much to be seen on the horizon, though I know everyone's keeping their eyes to the horizon. The river will lead us to a cave, a massive mountain with a maw open in the Forgotten Lake and the surrounding area are promoting grounds for ice devils or gelugos. They are birthed here after their ascension to this position. But they must serve without air for 777 years, at which point they will be promoted. Of that they care most greatly. As for numbers, well, I don't know the numbers go high enough. There will be a lot, to say the least.
How the fuck are we gonna get by that? Quietly to the others.
Valentine's just happily drawing a circle on the ground, summoning this thing, doesn't even hear any of that.
As the dome comes into being in the first 10, 11 minutes of travel down the Styx, the travel thus far has been bitterly cold, but otherwise quiet. Those of you with high passive perceptions, which is most of you, you do see every so often in the river itself the kind of shifting and flowing of the river. You watch as the ferryman's movement with his kind of long, I don't know if it's a different oar that would
what
be.
It's called. Yeah,
Or
sounds great.
It's going to be an oar for now. It does have these kind of paddles, or his oar he doesn't necessarily use to like push into the water so much as like he puts it in almost like a staff into like a keyhole, and with it almost like as a rudder to like push forward, drives the paddles. But you watch as they dip into the water. It dips in and the water doesn't rise up with the paddles. It's almost undisturbed, and it just gives this very otherworldly element to traveling in this way. But what you do catch, those of you who catch high passive perceptions, I should say, within the river of red, you do see like drifting up and past you one way or the other every so often over the 15 minutes as we get to this point of like white translucent forms, humanoid forms, catching a face here and there, some larger, some smaller, old, young. There's a shifting of what you could imagine to be souls to and from, up and down, winding paths along the Styx. Not many, but you catch a couple. We'll say at this point, the tiny hut encompasses the midst of the Styx, or the midst of the boat, the skiff, and the temperature immediately kind of becomes more comfortable for those of you unaccustomed to this kind of cold. You huddle in and can make plans, though I will ask for the course of this journey, we're going to do an emphasis roll to see if anything pops off during travel. So either two people can roll 2 different d20s, one person can roll 2 d20s, and we're going to look for higher or lower, closer to 20, closer to 1, and we'll see what happens.
Is this the first emphasis roll of this campaign, or have we done one yet?
We've done several over the war arc. I've done a couple now.
Oh, great.
Who's rolling?
So you said someone does both, or do you want two people to roll separate?
Up to you guys. I don't care as long as 2d20s get rolled.
Hondo, let's roll off. Let's do it. You roll one, I roll one. Okay. 1d20.
16.
12.
Good start. Okay, well, you're on the upper end.
Yeah.
You're on the upper end. You're closer to 20 than you are to 1. And that
I would also just say Val would suggest to Hondo at some point, Hondo, just because you're so stealthy, do you want to at some point just keep watch from the bow of the boat? Don't get too close to the water, but just see if anyone's trying to follow us or anything like that.
You wanna cover your rear end? I got you.
The bow of the boat, the front of the boat. But thanks for always watching my rear.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants to make perception checks over this journey, you're more than welcome to.
I'm real good at perception, so I'll do one just from inside, but I bet Hondo will have a better. Ooh, it's really good.
Roll perception for the front too, Kev.
Okay.
I got 34 from inside. I rolled a natural 19.
I rolled a 15.
What's your perception bonus there, Kev?
It is 15.
Wow.
Okay.
Just dropping a casual 30.
A 30 and a 34 from our two rolls are pretty crazy. You guys don't actually see much of anything. As long as you keep your watch, you see what I've described previously, the river itself. But honestly, the expanse of Cania in this section, for whatever reason, or perhaps it's across Cania's entire landscape, you just see kind of barren Arctic ice shelves and no signs of life. The kind of bitter storm of a deep winter's blizzard rolls across the plains of ice and snow. You see like massive hunks of ice and spires across the surface, and some jut out across the Styx as well, creating these ice bridges that you that you sail underneath, and have to like wind your way through that the ferryman does without even disturbing you at all. It's almost like a moving platform more than an actual like sailing vessel. The journey is uninteresting beyond being in hell. Unless there's anything you want to do on the journey.
Could I try to get a decent look at what these souls look like, and then use disguise self to essentially look like a ghost version of a humanoid?
Sure. You can make a we'll just go straight perception on that. See if you can get a good view as one kind of sails
23.
past. Honestly, you can make yourself look like any kind of humanoid you wish, and get the consistency, the texture, the translucency of a departed soul.
She'll probably. What was that, Scott?
I was gonna say Mary just has a bed sheet over her and just like some two eye holes,
with little whole eye holes in it. Or like the kid in the Charlie Brown where he has like just a million holes in the first costume. She'll probably, out of habit, she usually wants to look slightly off and just ends up looking like her mother, and then realizes how awfully morbid that is. But it's too late now. She's made her decision.
Committed to it.
Can I cast Mage Hand?
Mm-hmm.
I want to stick the hand in the water, and I just want to do a couple scoops just to see if anything comes up, any, threats or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Mage Hand is a tangible element when it's cast. Like it can hold on to things. So you see where it does dip into the water. it does, like, you see it leave a trail. You see it interact in the same way that it would with a normal source of liquid. You see some of it kind of come up with the hand, but it doesn't like stay pooled in the hand. Like you can't like scoop any with it to you. Not that you necessarily would want to, given the warnings. But yeah, you can interact with it, and with your like very high passive perception and investigation and your rolled perceptions, there doesn't seem to be any immediate kind of response to like disturbing the lake, if that's what you were curious about.
And no like creatures or fish or anything that are...
No sign of any kind of living or unliving creatures, and if there are any of these kind of transpiring souls, it doesn't seem to have any effect, at least not with the mage hand.
Okay.
You're not sure. Anyways, you're not sure if you were to like grab onto a soul if you could, but obviously that would mean actually physically engaging with the water. As we approach the hour mark, you guys all again have very high passive perceptions, and both of you rolled above a 30. So I would say with like a good distance out, the two of you through the storm, even from within the dome, and Hondo at the bow of the ship, you do see in the kind of darkness on the horizon within the next 10-15 minutes that you would get close to a massive kind of mound that the river seems to begin to funnel, and slowly all these other winding paths begin to kind of converge to a singular point as the closer and closer you get to this mountain of what you would assume to be ice and snow, but certainly could be an actual mountain given its size. At this distance, you still quite can't make out any specific detail. Even with those rolls, it's still very far away. But you can see there's a landscape, a marker on the horizon, and the Farron then kind of taps a bony hand on the rudder to say, "We're here." Is there any other last-minute preparations you get before you get closer and closer?
Maybe just to confirm with them, if I can translucent doorway opens or something, but just say like, so what happens next?
That's very much up to you. We're going to try and sail through. There's a cave within where will transpire, but from the entry to the actual depths and the first drops, there are a couple hundred, not leagues, like a couple hundred
fathoms,
feet, whatever that would be. Fathoms is very long, so whatever a shorter increment of naval travel, of
nautical miles. Sure.
We have some territory to travel yet. There will be devils ahead. I expect we will be stopped and questioned. So if you have anything you'd like me to say, I'd like to know it now before we get there. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it to you.
Yeah, let's talk about this, squad. Let's talk about this. We're going to be chatting some ice devils.
Yeah. There's, I was hoping we could potentially go with the whole, old faithful, someone transporting prisoners, but it sounds like that's not something that typically happens in these vessels.
Yeah.
Not typically.
How convincing is this in terms of regular cargo? I gesture to my ghost self.
Oh, no.
To the ferryman?
Yeah.
Mary, you're wearing a bed sheet.
Just go, you made a good perception check. Go ahead and make a performance check.
I can use my things on this too, but I really hope I don't need it.
Yeah, make a performance check with a slightly modified DC based on like your perception check from previously to see if you can pass it off. But how well did you like translate that with the magic that you're not necessarily accustomed to doing?
No, it's not strength. Okay. Why am I even looking? I know it's only a +1. 15.
15's a DC.
There you go.
It is the ferryman kind of gives a nod of like approval. It seems to be good enough. To the rest of you, looks like a dead, ghostly female. It seems to fit with, Honda. You've seen more of these souls have passed as you've been at the bow, and have kind of been specifically looking to the Styx while you've been using your mage hand. Looks right. The only oddity would be like there's like physical, like the gravity of a humanoid is different than that of a soul, though you imagine they would be tethered in some capacity. There's a difference in
seatbelt.
there's a difference in like how you carry yourself. The other big difference here that the ferryman does point out is I think it's going to be odd to be. They will certainly question the ball on
Big
my
ass
ship.
dome.
We'll drop that for sure. We'll drop that for sure.
Oh, okay.
I have a question about the thing that everyone is sitting on. You said it's storage. Could that be
it
like?
Looks like it has like hinges that you could open up.
Could that be people-sized storage, or maybe a dwarf?
As you open it up, there isn't much inside. There are multiple sections that, in theory, you could uncomfortably fit. Like Allie would probably be fine, although you're still kind of bulkier in armor. But the rest of you would be tough, but possible.
Because I can disguise myself. Obviously, I have a Scott. You can too, and I know Kevin can, but those are spells, which I know we're being.
I can't really disguise myself aside from a polymorph.
I thought you had disguise self. Did we ditch that a long time ago?
I never really had it. Why would you disguise the space?
That's true. That's very fair.
Yeah, just talk my way out of anything. I have an idea.
Yep.
We have an infernal puzzle box. We also have from Torque Hard Skull, from Dagger HQ, probably Ep 3. He had a safe with an infernal lock on it. So we've got two hellish kind of things here. So we could say we're transporting these. We're not at liberty to say what's inside them, but we're going through here to get to the 9. Like, that's all we could really lead with.
Would it help if... trying to think if there's any other way that we could supplement something like that.
Anyone gets too finicky. Mr. Ferryman was very kind to say these devils have to serve for 777 years. All they want to do is not be an ice devil. They want to get promoted from here. So we can just threaten that. Like, you guys want to fuck around and go back to being like a little grub worm before you even become an ice devil? And then you got to wait another 777 years because you're messing around with an archdevil's mission from us. Like, be our guest. We could also say, if they press further, we could say, look, we don't want to talk about this too much. This shit came from Sigil. Yeah, we made it off of Sigil. We can't say any more than that.
Anything else vaguely hellish that could add to the...
I could speak in tongues. I could cast tongues from Heartbreaker. God, I love saying that. It feels so right.
All else fails, we can try... How tough is an ice devil? We've fought them before, Kyle?
Ice devils are the top devil here with the until you reach up into there are a handful of pit fiends in the service of Mephistopheles, and archdevil level, or not archdevil, but high level pit fiends. But ice devils are pretty tough. What I will say is, specifically this place, as what the ferryman has said, this is like a spawning grounds and training ground. So like there are a difference in like your captain levels and your early level ice devils. They're all ice devils, but some are less imposing than others. The problem here specifically is the hundreds or thousands of them.
Yeah.
This is not a fight our way out. Just looking at Hondo.
I think that is clear that like if you have to engage to get through or run, then it's like clear them just to move. But you will not be fighting to like fight to win here. It's fighting to get away. I think that's clear to all of you. Just given like how you would view this situation and the physically. But I will say I'm going to put a little pressure on. You have to make the decision of what you're going to do, where you're going to be, and who you're going to look like in the next minute as you're getting close to like perception levels as I'm rolling down.
Okay.
Closer and closer you get.
Is there a way, or would it be worth it to? Oh no, they might want to inspect that shit. I was gonna say have like a pile of crap in the back, with some of us potentially hiding in it and putting the kind of stuff on top, like it's a whole cargo load.
I say it's like a secret mission. We're delivering these two things from Sigil to someone on the 9, an archdevil. We're forbidden from saying their name. But if you want to fuck around and find out who it is, like, be our guest. They can't open them because they won't know the infernal locking things to them. I mean, we can only open one of them, but we don't even have to do that because they're just like hidden contents inside. My concern would be maybe some of us should hide in the cargo holds just so it's not like, oh, you kind of look like those 5 people, a fish guy, a dwarf, a human, and a kid with blonde hair and a cat. So like, yeah.
So we could potentially hide someone in the cargo hold. I can look like not me, so that's not a problem.
Hondo can look like not him, right? Gord's invisible in shadows, but maybe devils can see shadows. But if Gord doesn't move, he's literally invisible in shadows.
I don't mind hiding either.
What I'll say, sorry, just as I'm interjecting to hear like the invisible in shadows, there's not going to be shadows, but once you're in the cave, there will be shadow.
Okay.
And a Gord can't move or act or react, otherwise it breaks. But
breaks.
if there's any interaction before you get under the veil of shadow of the actual cave, Gord is not invisible. So you need another thing if there's anything prior to inside the cave. Once you're inside, invisible up.
Could we like set up a little, almost like a tarp up on an angle? You know how they have on some boats, like where it's tied down in the back and a little higher up, almost like a sunshade.
Mm-hmm.
Would that count as like in shadow if he was under something like that?
That's pretty thin.
Okay.
Mary, I'm going to do something I never wanted to ever ask any other human, but I think it's necessary for this moment. You got to be quick about it, and I trust you more than Hondo.
Okay.
You got to cut my hair.
Dude.
Just got to cut it all off.
I agree. Cut it all off.
There's not enough time. You just got to do it before Hondo gets whisper out and decapitates me.
Jesus. All right. Gonna look real fucking janky. I'll pull it up until like she actually cuts her own hair pretty regularly, so she knows how to do it into like a bob. So that's what you're getting.
For you. No, I don't want a bob. It's just fucking give me the Thor haircut from Ragnarok.
No.
Don't give me a bob.
No, I'll do my best.
Frantically, I would like use Heartbreaker just to get the big bits off, and then take Heartbreaker. Yeah, Brawley, if you want to go in the hold. Hondo, if you want to disguise yourself. Mary, you disguise yourself. And I'll just be some fucking human with shitty hair.
Okay, so Allie's going to go and hide within one of the storage compartments.
Yeah.
Gord is going to hide in one of the storage compartments. Like you could do it. It's just like you have to. It's going to be a high DC to like actually sit and hold that position and not be like, because like the size, like if you breathe, like the lid is going to kind of rise a little. So you got to be really stealthy to like.
Gord has a Mando helmet on, right? Like he's just kind
of. Not anymore. He took that off. He doesn't wear that anymore.
Yeah, that's old Gord.
There's just a cool white cat.
Let's do it.
You're gonna go into one of the storage compartments as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
What if we sit on top of gourds to put some weight on it so it doesn't actually
Well,
like?
that's kind of mean.
I mean, you can certainly try. We'll see how it goes.
Oh no.
I will step out and drop the hut.
Okay, the hut falls. Interesting choice. Hondo is going to disguise self.
Well, what are we looking like?
Yeah.
Am I staying a ghost? Is that reasonable to stay a ghost in this
I don't
plan?
think so if you're with a bunch of other realies. I can't look like a ghost.
I could go as an ice devil.
You could be like a humanoid version. Well, I guess they are bipedal.
Look
but
like look like Lando. Look like your best friend Lando. Just a human down on his luck.
I could do that.
Okay. Mary?
I guess tiefling makes the most sense, right?
Do you speak Infernal?
No. Not at all. Fine, I'll do my typical half orc.
Okay.
I speak Orcish.
Great.
Half orc and like, we'll do like armor with some infernal looking runes. I don't speak Infernal, but something that kind of looks fiery and scary.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can
It's like
kinda...
a shitty fake English that like shitty AI like generates when you ask it to make something.
Hey, be kind to AI. It could be listening to this.
Fuck you. You with the disguise self, you can kind of spice it up however you like. Okay, so the three of you are holding the two infernal puzzle boxes and lock boxes.
Chest with a lock.
Yeah. The ferryman. All right. Well, best of luck.
You do not sound confident, man.
Yep. And he just continues on his course. Ever closer, you ride. There are going to be checks involved in all of these things as you begin to see all very clearly this mountain kind of break through the mist and the frigid kind of swirling air and snow. And watch again as all the rivers converge in this kind of bright red river amidst white and blues of the landscape, where you begin to see a kind of a darker black spot at the base of the mountain that begins to grow and grow and grow into a hungry, icy maw. At a distance, you can see a cave opening inside this mountain. You all have crazy passive perception, so I can give you some more information, which is nice.
Wait, Mary rolled for haircut. What did you roll? Because it better be fucking good haircut. You better roll high.
No, you're lucky. I just rolled a dex check because I kind of made an assumption that that's what it would be, and you got an 18.
DM? Decent?
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
It
serviceable.
looks like when
it's
I
not
tried
a bob.
to cut Kyle's hair during the pandemic.
You did a
which
great
was,
job.
Like, from a distance passable, and then you get up close to, you're like, that's real. That's real.
That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, you gotta.
Real splotchy.
There's a couple of strands that are still really long that just kind of awkwardly kind of blow and tussle across and tickle.
Just like glare at Mary when one of them does it. I'm swiping it from my face.
Yeah, you have not quite the Thor Ragnarok look, but it's not bad. It's not bad. However, as you guys can see within the cave at a distance, you can see it like curves, a curved wall of jagged ice hundreds of feet high, like an open dome inside. At the heart of the river at this distance, with your passives and all this crazy shit, you can already begin to see and hear the sounds of a swirling whirlpool. The void you can't see, just a descent far out of sight. You can see icebergs are caught in the current and they crash into the wall, and you see ice just and splash down. Just masses in this maelstrom. The walls, however, are visible as they are illuminated by fire and are covered in these small caverns and layers that you can see are kind of like layers of where they're walking around these small caves that are carved into the walls, where you can see hundreds of insectoid fiends, each one a hunched bipedal creature up to 7 feet tall at the shoulder, blue carapace armor that covers the body, as well as clawed hands and feet, and powerful mandibles, as well as a long tail covered in razor-sharp spikes. There's a variation in size, as I kind of explained earlier. Some are smaller and frailer, seemingly young, while there are a couple, those of you spot, amidst the layers of ice who stand 8 or 9 feet tall, and you can see these rigid beetle-like wings, and the carapace of the shoulders kind of flares out, denoting like a higher station, though of the same ice devil kind of initial design. The interior is less than 100 feet from you. The entrance to the cave is less than 100 feet as you get closer and closer, but at the icy shoreline outside and all along the exterior, more of these small caves, there are platforms of like rises and chunks of ice where you can see small groups of devils on the exterior, more of the same, and many snap within the nooks and perches of icicles and juts out like gargoyles that they sit on the ground level before you as well. There is a patrol closest to you on the right side, 3 ice devils that wave you down, one of them with a spear of infernal ice and metal, and they kind of wave it down and flag the ferryman down, and he begins to shift the boat in the skiff in the direction of these devils.
I touch Heartbreaker and cast tongues.
Okay. Just make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, hey! Natural 20. 27 if you need it. Yeah.
Totally fine. Easy enough to just turn away ever so slightly. You're still a little distance away, so it's not right up on top of you, but enough to cover the sound of the incantation. But you watch as the skiff get closer and closer, and about 100 feet to the mouth of the cave, maybe a little less, these 3 ice devils kind of flag you down, and the ferryman steers towards, pulls up alongside within 5 or 10 feet, and Hondo and Mary, all you hear is the infernal language, this like guttural growling and barking, and the ferryman responds in kind, and Valentine, though, you can understand all this and can now speak in tongues. Like you can speak and they understand you as if it's the language you intend, so your speech can be also heard by Mary and Hondo. They'll understand what you say, but not the other side of the conversation. Mm-hmm. So just for everybody's understanding, whatever Valentine says, you all understand. They call you down and says, "What are you doing here? No ferryman allowed here.
We're on an errand. Can't do. We got to get to the 9. We're on an errand for an archdevil."
"I don't know if you heard me, skin sack. This place is closed. Ferryman, turn back."
Before we do that, what's your name?
Not your fucking business. That's my fucking name.
One of you two, you want to tell me his name just so when we have to tell the archdevil who they got to punish for this, you guys don't get implicated in this?
They both kind of look at each other. Make a deception check at disadvantage.
You got it. Oh, yeah. At disadvantage, 28.
Okay. The one on the right kind of looks over. The one on the left just kind of crosses his arms. The one in the front is the one holding the spear. and he just kind of begins, like, he stabs it into the ground, and it is about to kind of like go to town, as the one on the right just says,
His name's Nuthosh.
Nuthosh, great, thank you.
I'm going to be trying to reading everyone's faces
Gosh.
because I can at least see if anyone seems more convinced by Val's words that I'm hearing.
as of now, no. And it's difficult to kind of gauge. They don't have typical humanoid faces. They're insectoid mandibles. Everything seems angry and aggressive. Nuthosh kind of backhands him, and he kind of scurries a little bit and kind of gives him a glare for a second, turns back.
Nuthosh, you look...
Shut up.
Yeah.
The way is shut by Mephistopheles' orders. To all. You can't go, even if you wish. The portal's closed. Turn around.
Don't know what to tell you. We got to keep going through, go to that portal. The ferryman, he's going to get us there, and we're going to go through to see our Archdevil. We got this stuff we're on an errand for. Nuthosh, you look pretty old, so this will probably be... I mean, you must be almost promoted out of here, right?
I still got my ears.
Well, looking at some of these young folk, they don't look like a couple decades in or a couple hundred. I'm just saying, look, we're nobody. We just got to go do this fucking errand. If the portal's closed, we'll just turn around. But we just have to check it to make sure so that we don't have to report back saying Nuthosh and his two friends delayed this for the Archdevil, and you got to go punish them and send them down to, like, what's that little thing you guys have to be? It's like a larva or something. You have to spend like a couple centuries like that before you become an ice devil.
He kind of turns to the others, says,
Get Gentha.
Appreciate that. Get Gentha.
The one who gave you Nuthosh's name kind of scurries and, like, off to, like, a set where they have, like, a little what would look like essentially what would be a campfire, like a little set where they were hole up, and you watch as he takes this kind of, like, almost like a banner that immediately kind of, like, flares into green flame, and he kind of begins to wave this big banner.
I think that's a good sign.
Nuthosh turns back and says,
Fine. You can do it the hard way. I don't care. I'll let Gentha get you. What do you got, anyways?
I don't really know what's in those. We were just told to get them.
make a straight persuasion.
Natural 20.
He says,
Well, look. You let me see them. Let me present them to Gentha. I'll see if I can't smooth it over.
We aren't supposed to let him out of our sight. You're welcome to hang out here, Nuthosh, and talk about him too, but we can't let him out of our sight.
Won't go out of your sight. I just want to hold it and see and present it.
Not supposed to let anyone else touch him, Nuthosh. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, that's fine, that's fine. I'll translate that to Gentha.
Sure, appreciate that.
about 5 minutes pass as the three break away.
Does the ferryman react to that name at all?
No, not at all. He's been a skeleton the whole time.
Just checking.
He just cut to his face. He's just a fucking skeleton face.
He's just staring ahead, very much like when you first encountered him, like a statue. Like he has no reaction. He's has said no words, and is even when referenced, has just been fucking dead straight.
Can I say something to him, in knowing that the group would hear this too?
Sure. Yeah.
Ferryman, they said the portal's closed up ahead. You know anything about that?
Odd.
All right.
He doesn't
I'll
say
say
much more.
quietly in Elvish, because I know at least Scott understands that.
I can understand everything right now.
Oh, that's fair. I'll say
You can say this in
Orcish then.
Thieves' Can if you want. Actually, I don't know if I would understand
I don't
that.
know if that would work.
I'd give it to him.
I'll say it in Orcish then. Do we think that's a real thing?
I don't know. I was so busy. I didn't think to ask for further details about it.
It could be a cover in our favor. I guess, okay, we have 2 members in the boat. We don't know who the fuck this big guy is.
It's Gentha. It's my guy Gentha. Big G.
The minutes are ticking by. Then you begin to hear this buzzing sound. And you watch as flying out of the cave mouth, one of the higher stationed ice devils. You can see wings, like 4 needle-like wings beating, and a slightly more impressive spear than the one that Nuthosh held, as he kind of bears down and lands. You watch the ice kind of crack and break under his feet. He talks with the 3 devils, maybe 10, 15 feet away from you. And they engage. You see some animation.
Can I try and overhear?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Okay. This is going to turn soon. 32.
Yeah. Almost maybe a little bit of your elven ears kind of picking up some of it. Maybe some of the tongues just giving you just that little bit of an edge to kind of catch all the little subtleties. And yeah, you can hear that, Gentha comes in. They give him a very quick overview of, there's 3, they note 3 mortals, as they just call you, mortals or skin sacks. So those are the only 2 names that they kind of give you. Came here with a ferryman with 2 items to bring below. They reiterate basically that they told you the portal was shut. They told you to turn back. You were insistent that orders came from on high, essentially, so to speak, and that they deferred to Gentha's better judgment. You see he dismisses the other 2, but keeps Nuthosh there, and then flies up and over over the boat and kind of scans over the boat. At this point, I'd like stealth checks from Allie and Gord. And I would like deception from the other 3.
You got it. That's my lowest one so far. Okay.
Ooh, 22 for me.
Yes, Brawly. Yes.
Yay.
Fuck yeah. I got 22 for deception.
Okay.
I rolled a 5, but I'm an expertise, so it's a 10, 15, 25.
Jesus.
25? Nice.
I rolled a 16, which is decent for me.
That's great.
Okay. And Gord stealth.
16.
That was deception, Gord.
Nope, he was stealth. Oh, he rolled deception.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, wait, it is a stealth roll?
It's a stealth for you and Allie, deception for the others. No, that's fine.
That's a 17.
Okay, that's pretty much the same. Okay, so 22 for Allie, 17 for Gord. And the others, 16 was the lowest?
Yeah, that was me.
It's you? Yeah. And then 22, 25.
Above 20s for the 2 of you. I don't think that's going to matter, but the 17 and 16 here could, in theory, be seen through. So we're going to roll for it rather than use passives because he's actively searching and looking over and scrutinizing. Okay. The heavy, the wings kind of cut, and he drops heavily into the skiff. And you feel it, Bob, for a second before, very oddly settling flat, like very quickly. It's just an element of this that feels a little different. But there's no threat of like suddenly being thrown as a result of just him landing, or maybe on a different skiff that could be, or maybe different terrain, whatever. This new figure, 8.5 feet tall, very imposing, begins to kind of step very heavily, and is like letting the trail of this spear kind of just like trail against the wood, leaving just that ominous kind of like dragging of spear behind. Gentha. And I'll also say Nuthash is basically back where you were communicating with him before on the shores, but that's like 5 feet away, maybe within 10. He's kind of stepped way back, like he's not attempting to even show any sense of authority. He's way stepped back. Gentha looks across the three of you here, looks to the ferryman for a second.
Odd timing to be bringing trinkets. On whose orders?
We're bound to an archdevil. We're just skin sacks. We can't say his name. It's on the contract.
Beautiful. I would like to see this contract.
He has it.
Make it no, you can't even deceive that. He just kind of chuckles a little.
He has it.
Of course.
Shit.
You watch as he has been kind of just like moving from the front across, and he's standing right beside the storage section where Gord is hidden beneath, just to add to the tension.
I'm just training my eyes on him, not looking down at the floorboard, but I really want to look down at the floorboard.
No contract, but you're bound, huh? What are these trinkets?
They come from a very hard to leave place. Don't know what's inside them. I think that's like infernally locked, and the other one I think is some sort of complicated puzzle. I don't really know. We're just told to get him and bring him back if we could.
I see. Present them.
Right here, sir.
Reaches out and takes the puzzle box in one hand and stabs the spear down, like partially in the top, like it's like that much within the wood of where Gord is sat. Gord, I would like, what's like the hold your like
composure?
Steady, your composure. Or just make a charisma save for me.
Cool.
Just be cool.
18.
Yeah. You could hear him outside. You can hear him talking, and then just like, and the blade just is right over top of your head as the tip of the spear. The three of you outside, I would like another deception check to see that you don't react to that.
Gotcha. Thank fucking God, I thought that was a 1. Jesus Christ, it's a 7. So I got 25.
17.
Okay.
Oh no, deception.
Again, 10 and 15, 25.
Got it.
As he does, and he like takes the one item, slams it in, eyes immediately flick to Mary, and just kind of turns the head ever so slightly. The eyes
I
kind
feel
of
it
like,
off more that like he's just kind of scary.
yeah,
Grumpy
that's
as
why
fuck.
there's no immediate like reaction to it, but it's the slow scale of things starting to
Just
tip.
clocking stuff, yeah. Just clocking stuff.
His buggy eyes kind of just like then ever so slightly as he lifts the spear out, keeps hold of the puzzle box or and lockbox. He's got hands big enough to hold both, really. Kind of begins to like come around the other side, closer to the three of you, and begins to kind of tower over you.
And deliver them below to who?
Oh, we told you we can't tell you.
Not to who they're owed.
No. Can't tell you to the Archdevil they're owed to.
But there's only one below, boy.
I can't say names.
Well,
I'm just a skin sack. I'm just an errand boy here.
that much is true. Some other things here don't seem to ring through to me.
And he gets real close to Mary for a second.
Got a curious sense about you.
I don't understand any of this.
Nope. Val, you do, obviously. But you are being sniffed by this devil as he is bearing down on you. Val, I'm gonna say, Val, I'm gonna say, you have your choice as the only one who can speak here. You've got 3 charisma-based ways to play this. Do you double down on the fact that you guys have to do this job and he should fuck off and make an intimidation check? Do you try and play up more of like the deception angle that like however you want to try and go deception here? Or do you try and plead to the, as you kind of noted before, the promotional side and persuasive side of like, this could work for you? I'm going to say that this is going to be the last chance to try and sway things, as even with your passive insight, he's starting to pick up a lot of downsides to this. So I want to give you one chance here to say something that could sway the tide, at least to the other side.
I'll try and say this with like fear of the repercussions, fear of who we do not want to disappoint. But I'll just say something to the effect of, Gintha, we're in debt to who these need to go to. We're also fucking terrified. And look, he's made all sorts of threats, and he doesn't like when he doesn't get his way. I mentioned that to Nathush, and he understood. No one wants to be... I mean, you must be so close to being promoted. All we want to do is just fucking deliver these things and be done with it. You never see our dumb faces again.
You're on persuasion.
Yeah, let's do it.
Give me a persuasion roll.
I'm gonna subtle skill this. And that is now a D12. Peerless skill. My bardic is now a D12. 47. I got a 36 because the first one was an 18, I believe, and then I added an 11 with the D12.
High level bards. Just high level bards.
The promotion, you see just that shift of like, I could take these guys out now, but the risk, if I'm wrong, I got, I'm 1 year from popping off here. Is it worth the risk? And then he's kind of balancing like, what's the worst they could do? What's the worst that could happen? And you watch him kind of balance and juggle back, and he says,
all right. Let's say you're telling the truth. Let's say you got a contract that you don't have. Let's say you gotta get these below. The way is still shut. So what I can offer you is this. When it reopens tomorrow, you will have passage, and I will personally ensure your safety. But I will hold these relics until then.
Do you mind if we go check out where it's shut? It's just, and I'll look at the ferryman. I'm wondering if who we're giving these to might have something to do with it. And ferryman, I know you were asked to help us with this. Is that something you know that you can get us through? Is this all part of the plan?
The ferryman. Wait 1 second.
Ferryman's like, they're lying, kill them.
The ferryman does something where he speaks aloud and says, I don't have the power to get us through. Of course, I defer to the power of the archdevils, the Cold Lord. I would never defy Asmodeus's realm with my passage, but telepathically speaks to you simultaneously to say, basically, we don't need the door. We have our own way, but we should make it sooner than later.
Gantha, that sounds fair, but do you mind if we just... They're gonna ask why it's late, and they do things to know we're telling the truth. Could you hold on to those and help us deliver them tomorrow? But can we just keep going forward to see that the portal's really shut so that we can tell them we tried?
You will see it from your places of rest for the evening. You may enter and I will lead you.
Is that still like the ferry just takes us through there?
He turns to the ferryman and says,
Forward.
All right, thank you.
The ferryman immediately and the ship begins to go forward with Gentha holding the Infernal Puzzle Box, whatever it's worth, and riding with you. You slowly begin to head within the cover of the cave. The sounds of the maelstrom grow loud, as do the sounds of these kind of the insectoid kind of tittering and kind of scraping and scrapping of the carapace and mandibles as they kind of clack and click, all around, echoed hundreds of times. Gentha kind of points up to a space along the right cove side that like kind of tucks off to basically like a dock side here. It's not an official dock, but there's like a layer of ice and multiple different kind of spires that rise that you could lash a skiff to. And he begins to kind of gesture to the ferryman to head towards that, and that would pull away from. Now that you're inside, you can see in the middle of this massive cave, you see just swirling waters, and it just drops out of sight. About, I have specific ranges here. Where are you? It's about 250 feet, give or take. 200 to 250 feet to the first kind of drop off. You still can't see like within because it literally drops, and without an aerial perspective you can't see anything. The ferryman begins to go in this direction before telepathically, what are we doing here, boy?
Take us fucking down below.
The ferry, the skiff, suddenly beneath all of your feet begins to like go as fast as he possibly can. He like revs the engine, so to speak, and it begins to turn and head directly towards the Ropo Gentha immediately. Everyone roll initiative.
Fuck.
This initiative is going to be a little different. It's not a straight combat. This is going to be a chase situation.
Fuck.
You can roll initiative as normal, but essentially, on the ferryman's turn is the speed of the boat. The boat is going to act. The skiff is going to head. The skiff can move 40 feet per round. This ferryman can use his action to give it an extra 10 feet. Each of you could grab oars, paddles, or do other things to use your action to give the boat another 10 feet by aiding in paddling. Otherwise, you could use your action to do other things. What I'll say is every creature in here can move 40 feet and dash for 80. So you want to at least be hitting 80 feet to keep pace from other creatures, lest they catch up to you. So at least 3 of you, 2 or 3 of you, sorry, should be using your turns to just get the boat going, and the more that do, the faster you move. Otherwise, you can take an action to do other things. If you take an action to focus on the boat, you can't use a bonus action or other things.
Any other shit?
Your full turn is devoted to that.
Got it.
Otherwise, you pull back and do other things. Part of the initiative, unfortunately, because Gentha is here as a way that this played out, does involve a combat element because he is actively on top of you. He's in the
Is he standing on the boat or is he flying?
No, he was standing beside you and Valentine and Hondo. Like the 3 of you or 4 of you are clustered on the right side. Allie is in the storage compartment at the front right, and Gord is in the front left, the way I pictured it. So Gord is currently furthest away. The ferryman is just going, and we're going to roll initiative, and everything is going to play out in initiative order.
How far do you think we are?
To the first drop, you are 200 feet. 200 to 250 feet.
Fuck me, guys.
So there's going to be a couple of rounds here, and I will also say, at the end of each round, we're going to roll a d20 for a chase complication.
Sure, why not? Why fucking not?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to roll my 2.
I feel like I got us pretty close, right? Right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the big fucker came, I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, we lost the kill them quietly option, so now it's what are we
kill
gonna
him
do?"
quietly. Oh, jeez.
Not him, the lower fuckers.
The bigger problem, honestly, the second you said you didn't have the contract meant you didn't understand how the contract worked.
Fuck.
Unfortunately,
We don't have a Mephistopheles contract, right?
Yes, you do.
Do we?
Everyone who has a contract has 2 versions: the Archdevil version and the version that is given to. In the case of your group, when you group did it, you have like a physical thing. Most contracts are either burned or etched into the body in some capacity, or they are given a token that they cannot be away from while the contract is in effect.
Jesus.
Anywho, 25 to 20.
24.
Great. And 20 to 15.
19.
19 as well.
Okay,
17.
Hondo.
Nice, bro.
Oh, guys.
Allie. 17 for Allie.
Yeah.
Great. Gord, what'd you get?
5.
All right. Gord,
I saw your roll. It was very sad, Gordon.
the rear. All right. Okay. So, Ferryman kicks things off into high gear. You have 200 feet to cover. 200 to 250 feet to cover, so it's not exact. 200 to 250 feet. He gets things going, but we kind of kick off initiative. His round will be that first. You get like the first 40 feet that he does, but not the additional as we get the first round going. Mary, you are first to act and react.
What size creature is he?
He is considered a large.
In the time that he was traveling with us, would it be reasonable to have been able to do
Know your enemy.
know your enemy?
Pardon. Yeah, between all the conversation you weren't involved in, absolutely.
Okay. I'd want strength for sure because I considered this might be a problem.
Do you get the score, or
Higher,
compared to
higher or lower than me? My strength's
Higher.
kind of higher. Okay.
Yeah.
And AC.
What's
I
your
don't
current
have-
AC?
I don't currently have my
Your
shield up,
shield is not active.
so that's
what's
a
your-
21.
Oh, lower.
Okay.
Lower. I would
Okay.
say not significantly, but lower than 21 for sure.
Great. Okay, and he's a large creature, so just let me make sure
Mhm.
this thing would work.
You have like a kill large creature feature now?
I mean, I could roll a natural 20. Oh,
Natural
shit,
20
where
makes
is
us easy.
it?
Can you just roll on that 20? That'd be real sick.
Oh, let me just do that. This is where certain other abilities would work really well. Large or smaller? Okay, so that works. I'm gonna try to just do a pushing attack and push him off the boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'll roll, see if I hit first.
All right.
Actually,
You're
that
probably gonna hit.
one might not. Well, I guess it's relatively average. Oh, 22, never mind. Okay, so that'll hit.
Hits. So
Okay.
what's the save? Strength?
The save is a strength save.
Okay.
Do I have allies within... Do I get sneak?
Yes. Yep. Allies are all, not flanking, so you don't get advantage, but immediately, you have allies there.
Okay.
He does succeed with a 22 strength.
Yeah, I think it's
Jeez.
a 20.
It's pretty high, though.
My DC. It is pretty high.
Then I'll say, he it's sheer size, and the tail that it kind of hangs off the back, you push back and his tail digs into the wood, and that's what stops him from falling where you otherwise may have got him. His tail kicks in, the wings kind of flare out ready for action.
Yeah. 25 points of damage.
Okay, great. Second attack.
That's even higher, so that'll hit. Try again.
Okay, sure. It's at 25, right? Yeah.
I think my DC's 20. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, it's probably higher than 9.
Oof. Okay.
Nice.
And 21 points of damage.
21 points,
So-
great.
Yeah. And so I push him back 10 feet.
Yeah, with that he goes and then flips over the side of the boat, partially surprised by the sudden lurch of the skiff, and then certainly by you. He goes ass over tea kettle. I'm going to give him a deck save to try and grab the railing.
Mhm.
Seems fair. He does so with a high natural 17.
Great.
One flings on, and the spear he kind of digs into the side of the boat, and is what would be considered basically a 3/4 cover. But if you get up on him to do another melee attack, you would have advantage because it's just a weird position where I would give you advantage.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I'll come up to him.
Okay.
Good. First one was a 4, and the natural. Second one will definitely hit. Natural 14. Let's do it. Would you say a disarming attack could work in this situation to get him to let go of the boat?
Yeah.
Or no?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll
It's
give
still
that.
a strength save. He could absolutely still beat it.
Not proficient in strength saves as it proves. He just has a +5, but I rolled a natural 18 actually. So
Shit. Okay.
he is still clinging on.
Oh, I rolled trash damage. 11. 12. 12 points of damage, including
Okay.
an extra D10.
Every bit helps. Uh,
Sounds bad.
that's 3 attacks. You have your bonus action, and obviously cannot help the ship in this round.
Yeah, I'll use my bonus action to... Shit. Do I want to disengage? Do I want to... I actually don't know if there's anything with a bonus action do here.
You don't have to. Hondo, you're on deck.
I will bonus action eye for detail to see if there's any other fuckers around.
Go ahead and make your perception check. The obvious answer is yes. There's 1,001
How
devils
close?
in this room.
Has anyone noticed?
But ones who are a threat is the key.
25.
Yeah, okay. The skiff suddenly moving got some attention. The combat with trying to kill Gentha has certainly drawn roars, cheers, like guttural kind of like reaction from like it's like a wave. By the end of this round, everybody in this room is going to be looking at the one thing to look at in this room. All eyes will be on this as you're just darting towards the center of this lake. Closest, though, you started close to the right side towards this kind of docking area. And I will say there are a number of like average devils that are like close. With a 25, the closest captain is a couple shelves of ice up and like further down. But if they dash towards you, like in theory, they could intersect with you within like 2 or 3 rounds. And should they have the desire to do so, like within 2 or 3 rounds, could engage another Gentha level creature.
Great, sure.
That is Mary's turn. Are you going to stay like in melee with him?
Can I do so? But so in case like other people could get up if they need to?
You could shift to one side so someone else could get beside him. But
Okay, great.
basically 2 people can attack him, but that would be it. Anything beyond that is too close. As long as he's hanging off the edge.
Call out to our rest of our party. We need to fucking move.
Okay, Hondo, we come to you.
Can I, staying on the theme of move, can I do Gust of Wind?
A gust of wind is not going to help your speed of your ship because there's no sail. It's a magical transport or a physical like row. So
good idea, though.
What you could do though is there are creatures like Gentha can fly. Every other ice devil in here can't fly except the captains. They all are walking. So like there's only so many like there are like ice bridges and things to like cross out into the river, but as you get closer and closer to the maelstrom, it's just like they have to leap from icebergs and platforms that are shifting and moving. It's not a clear like cut you off kind of situation. If you have that up and are like use your direction to like push people off, it's ice. They'll have disadvantage and maybe fall into the drink and not come near you, and any flying creatures would not be able to like come closer. So it's something you could cast and prep to like hold to fuck people up.
Okay. I can do that.
What I will say is to maintain that, you won't be able to row.
We need 2 people.
The other option is Kev. We're gonna have more than one turn here. You can save it until we get closer to something or until something tries to fuck with us.
You could hold the cast at the ready for something that gets close and just blast it away.
And still roll then?
No.
No, that would be your full. That would be your full.
Okay.
But like you'd be choosing casting in combat over rowing.
Okay, I'll just roll.
Okay. Okay. There's no check necessarily needed. Actually, sorry. To give an initial, you do need to make an athletics check, but it's very low DC.
Okay.
As a seaman, does he get
10.
advantage on that?
I would potentially, but he's never gonna fail this.
Okay, great.
19.
You are good. Unless you roll a 1, you will not fail this check. Hondo, Gord, and Allie. Yeah, as long as you guys don't roll 1s, you'll be fine.
Challenge accepted.
Your navigators, and Allie's just super strong. Mary, what's your athletics?
Mine?
Yeah.
Is like a 9.
Okay, so you have like a 15% chance of failure. So you're just on the edge. Valentine, you could fail.
Oh, yeah.
You could. You
Watch
could
me. Get ready.
fail. The last thing I'm going to add in for the paddlers, for those of you paddling, you can paddle for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus your Constitution modifier before I'm going to ask for a con check to potentially be exhausted as a result of like heavy physical motion and movement. This exhaustion, should you get it, can be fixed over a short rest because it's like you're just getting winded by physical exertion. So it's just something to add to the fun. But Hondo, you spend your round and get the boat moving an extra 10 feet. 10. Valentine, we come to you. Allie, you're on deck.
I think I'll just row.
Okay. Val, you break away from this, immediately just see things moving. All the enemies here, movement. Grabbing an oar from the side, and you just begin to paddle along one of the breaks. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Great. 19.
10 feet of movement, you're round aiding.
I think I'll just yell like, "Go, Brawley! Get above deck, Brawley! Mary needs your help. It went bad. Disco!"
Yeah, you can speak on the turns you're rowing, no problem. I'll also say if you wanted to, like, I would give you guys an acceptable thing to like throw perceptions out if you wanted to try and like get some further intel while you're rowing, but they would be a disadvantage because you're focused on that. But you couldn't take any other actions. Allie, we come to you, an additional 10 feet from Val. Yep.
Okay, so I'll hear Val tell me, "Go get to Mary at once. Disco. So I will head in the direction of Mary.
Yeah.
Hop out.
Bust out of the thing. It takes half your movement, but you can easily clear the distance to him. It's on a huge boat. You're gonna make attacks against the Ice Devil?
Yep.
Go ahead and make your attacks.
Okay.
You have advantage as he's hanging off the side of the boat.
Yeah, seriously. Mary put in the chat, "Smash his fingies" for the listener.
Yeah.
Ooh, 23 to hit.
Yes,
Nice.
you definitely hit.
Okay, and then 35 damage.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck.
That's so much damage. Okay. 35. Go ahead and roll your second attack.
Okay. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Okay, and then
Nice.
34 damage again.
Oh my god.
Clang, clang.
Bam.
Yeah, you're smashing. What I will say is, with each like strike, you're seeing damage like to the skiff itself. Like things are
true.
elements are breaking as you're hammering down. You know, Mary's blade is a little bit more effective at like carving specifically. You're just fucking boosh, and you see like a splintering wood. Not enough to be like concerned about, but maybe over time. That's your action. You have a bonus action if you want to use it.
I'm going to rage.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, no worries. And you're going to remain in melee with him?
Yes.
Okay. From Allie, this is the ferryman's turn. He uses his action to throw an additional 10. Currently, we have traveled 70 this round, so one other will keep distance from the remaining kind of chasing targets. But even right now, like, nobody has immediately made the run like you have, like this one round where you gain on everybody. But that's his turn. Devil's turn comes. He flies up and like keeping with you as he flies up and not breaking from either of your melee. Let's see. He is. Oops. Oh. Yeah, he's going to make a series of attacks against Mary and Allie. First with the spear to Mary. That's a natural 19. Certainly hits for 29. You suffer awful 9 points of piercing damage and 11 points of cold damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
You get the right 2 people here for those.
Yeah.
The 17. That's actually low for me.
It succeeds. That is it. For the spear, then he's going to do. He's got a bite, a claw, and a tail. So let's do. He's going to bite down at Mary and then claw tail at Allie. So bite. Mary, that's 21 to hit.
It's my AC now.
Does hit. That is an additional 14 points of piercing damage.
10 HP is gone.
7 points of cold damage.
Okay.
He then turns to Allie with the claws and tail. The claws are going to be 27, and the tail is going to be 22.
Yeah, both hit.
That is going to be 14 points of slashing reduced to 7. And then 10 points of cold reduced to 5. Then lastly, I guess I don't need to break it up into what damage types for you. All reduced. And then 22 points reduced to 11 for the tail. And as he just kind of goes into a flurry of attacks there, he is going to. He's fucking hurt. Okay, I'm going to make a check here for him to determine whether he is. Does he care more about the promotion and like trying to stop this, or his own well-being of like, if I died, I'd lose my promotion anyways. So I'm going to make it a charisma save to like will himself to stay in the fight, or does he act like a little bitch? He stays. So he, what I'll say is he flies and lands back on the boat, kind of on top of the middle bench.
Bench thing.
Takes us to Gord.
So if we don't have another paddler here, other devils could catch up. Is that the idea?
Essentially, you would like they would have 10 feet to gain on you over time. More and more creatures would be able to gain on you, unless you are
see a wind strike to push us further.
That's only going to kill things. And I would say there's only one target in range right now, which would be him.
I don't know what to do.
You could row us further. You could Eldritch Blast him 4 times. You could.
Yeah, you basically. If you want to, I would just say, yeah, you could Eldritch Blast him 4 times to get damage done, or you could focus on like getting further and just take your full action to help get the boat further.
That's what I did.
I'll do the boat. I'll feline agility my rowing.
Love it.
All right. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me. And that'll be an additional 10 for the end round of 80.
8.
An 8 total. Okay. Good to know. That's fine. Moving on. I'll come back to that. That takes us to the top of the round. But at the end of the round, Mary, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Oh, this is the thing. The complication thing.
I rolled a natural 20. I don't know if that's good or bad.
In this case, there are no complications.
Great. Right.
It comes to
You
your
doomed
turn,
us all.
Mary.
Well, I kind of wish I saved that for an attack.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Just roll another one. Here's the thing. Get another one.
How does he look hurt? Does he look like he's
Yeah, he looks significantly hurt. You saw with your passive insight, like how strong that is. You saw the look in his eyes of self-preservation, and then doubled down on, I need to try and stop this ship from getting to where they want to go. Like, these guys are clearly, they're going to ruin my promotion. They're going to do something that I'm going to get tortured for forever.
Okay, I'm going to make him regret this. I'm going to hope to take him out so that Allie can use her ridiculous strength to help row, so she doesn't have to deal with it anymore. It hovered on the natural 20, and then it tipped to a 14, which is still going to hit, but
yeah, hits.
Almost the crit. And I get sneak.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use any more superiority dice and blow them pretty quick. 25 on the first attack.
Okay.
Oh no, that'll hit. That was the same as last time where I said it might not hit. It was a natural 7 plus. I should know what my plus 15. So yeah, that'll hit. Max damage 19.
Okay.
Last one.
You could possibly do it here, easy.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. Natural 16. Okay. Almost max damage for 18.
18 is enough. How do you take out the Ice Devil?
Chop off his fingies.
That's the fingies is what does it?
I'm just trying to get him to let go. Like, I don't even give a shit about killing him.
He's standing on the middle.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You still target the fingers though. You're just so hell bent on them.
I'm just trying to shove him off the boat, and if I take him off in the final chest, to push him off.
As your first couple, you do chop the hand that cuts away. You chop the other, and he nearly drops his spear, but he holds onto it. But you deal a significant gash, and that cuts like from a forearm down into his thigh. And then with the last one, you just spear straight through and like hoist him up and over with the blade as he splashes down into the Styx. Gintha. Well, he'll be something else in some time. No, he was killed in hell, so he's dead.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Gintha, you dum-dum.
It was worth it to try and save his promotion, and it's better than being tortured for all time.
He made that choice. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to be a dumb little bug.
That saves the active combat on the boat for the time being. So, Mary, you still have your bonus action, so you can't row for this round, but you could do something else with your bonus, but otherwise your round is over.
Can I look out the front and look up for any upcoming obstructions?
Right now there are no upcoming obstructions
details?
thanks to your D20.
Oh, that's true.
There's no complications coming.
I don't really have anything else then at this point.
Okay. And then you just prepare.
Yeah. How many oars are there?
There's enough for all of you.
I'll at least sit down at a place where there is oars.
Sure. Well, they have to be pulled from the side. It's a. They're not apart like where you're rowing like this. It's like a oar that you guys are like over the side, just like trying to help along. That's why it's more of a challenge.
I will pick up an oar.
You got it. No problem. Hondo, we come to you. You were holding. No, you paddled. Do you continue to row? Oh, was Kev frozen?
Oh no.
Okay, well, if Kev's frozen, he continues to row.
He did say he just loves rowing so much, though.
He does love to row. I'm going to hop into Hondo's character sheet.
Ooh, we dropped him completely.
All right, well, I'll roll in Hondo's character sheet for an athletics check as long as it's not a 1. He's fine. You gain 10 feet from Hondo. Valentine, you come to you with Allie on deck.
I'm like, holy shit, Mary, that was fucking crazy. And I'm just going to keep rowing.
You got it. 10. Allie's turn. Allie's not here.
Do you want me to roll athletics, just in case?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
18. Sorry.
Good to go. Allie. Oh, Kev's back.
Just went to the bathroom.
So Allie's going to row here. Hey, Kev, sorry. We just kept moving. We weren't sure what happened. So we just had you row again for this round. As everyone, now that the danger's over, everyone's just kind of rowing. So I just rowed for you on your turn. You did excellent rowing.
You crushed it.
I'm pushing hard as I can.
Allie easily clears it, and Rose, I'll roll on her character sheet just to see if it's a 1, and she just like accidentally snaps her oar with pure strength, but
Don't
she
do it,
doesn't.
Al.
She's
My
great.
God, 29. I saw that in our group thing. It's crazy.
That's 10 for Allie, 10 for the ferryman. Gord, do you row on your turn, or do you do something else with your action?
I'll row.
Okay, beauty. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 feet. In addition to the 40 is an additional. It's 100 feet you move that round. Okay. At the top of this round, we're going to roll a complication, but you are getting closer. You are within. I'm going to roll between the 200 to 250 feet. What is the threshold of distance there? Okay, so Hondo and Gord, you guys are the best for the eye for detail for like how far is a distance, is a range on the water. You can tell from where you are right now. You have 50 feet before it drops like a waterfall, like drops out of sight, and you can begin to hear there's more down. There are like icebergs flowing in the way. All of you can begin like things are sprinting, like in the Hobbit movies when they're in the Goblin Kings and the goblins are like running in like trails along the walls and shit. It's that. They're coming. Someone roll me a d20 to see if there's a complication for this round.
Raleigh, it's you.
Throw a d20.
Yeah, get a real one.
Oh, 15.
Okay,
15.
I like it.
There are no complications, and that works beautifully as the ship begins to continue its 40 feet. As the round begins to start, 40 feet is passed. Mary, as we come to your turn, 10 feet from the edge, you're about to kind of drop over the edge. Do you push over with your action to row here? Or do you do something else with your turn?
We're gonna fall after this, right? In theory, we don't really entirely know.
We need to buckle in. Everyone put your seatbelt on.
There's going to be a drop.
Buckle in. Like, you spend your turn buckling in.
Could I, in theory, tie myself and somebody else?
No.
Or like, how do we... No.
You can use if you want to action surge, I'll give you 2 actions to tie yourself and someone else.
I can't use my action surge this early. Okay. Instead, can I use my action to just tie... Is there anything to tie a rope to?
All of the half walls are like post, like banister, like elements, so that you could lash around the top or any of the kind of spindles. There's tons of places.
Okay, I'll tie one end. Let's say if I'm at the front, because that's kind of where I was fighting. Yep. I'll tie one end and kind of just chuck the other side back for like someone else to potentially tie the other side, so we all have something to grab onto.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be your action to like go through the motions of tying, getting it set for everybody else. Anything for a bonus?
No.
Okay. Then we go to Hondo. Hondo next. If you row here, everyone is going to go over the edge. If there's anything you want to prep before then, you don't want to row. But if you want to just keep moving, which is also top priority, you row. What do you do?
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to prep before we...
And Mary just threw a rope behind her for other people.
Should have taken out the fucking carpet. We never think about taking out the carpet ahead of time.
And lose it? We don't want to lose it.
Around.
I don't want to lose it.
No, we're not going to lose the carpet right now. But I could... Maybe I'll inspire someone.
Wow!
Yes, that is your bonus action, so you still got an action after this.
Mm-hmm.
But I will point out that will not be you can't row if you use your bonus action to do that. So you could do something else.
You could tie the other end of this rope.
Yep. Easily.
Which is helpful.
Okay, let's do that. I don't feel comfortable rolling.
No, that's fine.
And then you can still inspire somebody.
Who do you inspire?
I'm gonna inspire. You know, I'll inspire Mary.
Okay.
I feel like she'll get into some trouble and need it at some point.
That's very kind. How do you inspire Mary?
I'll just, Mary, I think you're gonna need this inspiration. You're going to get into a lot of trouble very soon.
I can't tell whether or not that feels good, but thank you.
Mary has inspiration, and Hondo, you use your action to tie the rope on the other end of kind of the storage area. So basically, all through the middle is a rope by which, if any of you fail the ensuing strength or dexterity saving throw, I would allow you to use your reaction to either re-roll, or you could use your reaction to gain advantage on the roll. That's what we're going to do. Hondo, you prep your turn to do that. We go to Valentine.
Could I tie Gord in? Like, I just spend my turn tying Gord to 2 posts?
You can choose your turn to tie somebody else and not yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I tie Gord in. I'm like, have I ever told you you're my best friend? I just tighten this so you're like tied to the railing of this boat.
Easy enough.
Kyle, can you remind us, is this the point, the like waterfall that washes away magic? That's later.
It's like the crossing point between the planes. Okay. It's like a barrier of almost like dispelling. This water is the river Styx. If you touch this water, there is trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the fall and the potential of failing the following save, which is why the rope is very important, is if you fail, you have a chance of falling out or even just partially touching the water. That's going to be bad.
It'd be bad times. Bonus action, I inspire Brawley.
Beauty. What do you say?
I'll just like lock eyes with her and I'll be like, you hang tight. We got this. And she just clings to that boat like you cling to a baby, squirmy baby.
Perfect. Allie, we come to you. Do you row over the edge or do you do something else with your turn?
No, I row.
Okay. Everybody,
here we go.
Gord's been lashed. The ropes have been set. With Allie just feverishly, the boat pushes finally up and over the edge, and all of you begin to ride down this rapids of ice and magic and the river Styx. These white water rapids and waterfall as it drops. Everyone can either make your choice of a strength or dexterity save here. What I'm going to say, if you choose strength, you can get advantage with the rope. The dexterity is more about your balance and holding yourself. So I don't think that I would allow for dexterity to get advantage with the rope.
And if you're roped in, what does that give you?
It would be advantage if you're tied in, which is only Gord.
Okay, so Gord gets advantage on this roll. Got it.
Gord gets advantage on this roll.
The other thing could be if you fail it, it's like a reaction to try and grab the other thing.
Exactly.
Cool.
27.
Let's do some rolls.
25.
Good. So far, so good.
14.
Okay, not good. Hondo, what is your strength or well, your dexterity is a million. So, Valentine, you spent your turn protecting Gord, and as your turn, like you give Allie the inspiration, and as you're kind of beginning to move back up the ship, she's already rowing, and it puts you over the edge, and your feet just slip out from under you as it kind of begins to tip, and your boots are slick, and you begin to just tumble, and you look down and see the nose of the skiff kind of break in, and this little wave wash up and over, and you are tumbling down to the front of the ship and potentially up and over into the drink. You can use your reaction to make a dexterity saving throw to grab the rope before, and I'm going to give it a slightly higher DC than what the initial one was.
I was just checking because it's a bonus action for my wings, so I don't have that. So I'll just do Dex save.
Mhm.
Nice, 26. My fucking heart.
You skid and like burn your hand as you slide. Your boots dip into the river Styx as it washes up over the side, and it rises up to like, maybe 8-9 inches of your leather boots. But thankfully, one, they are exalted artifacts, and two, you are heavily covered. Does not touch the skin, which is key. The ship balances itself out, and any of the river Styx, the water that came up aboard is like immediately washed away. Like it's like repelled by the interior. But you land heavily on your back, safe. But you will be prone at the beginning of this next round.
Okay.
You've made it down the first drop. Hondo, Mary, and Gord. You can see there's another drop about 100 feet ahead. There's another drop. The ferryman. Where are we? Where are you, ferryman? As soon as the drop settles, the ferryman kind of yells to you all over the sounds of the rapids, and this kind of rapidly growing droning sound of devils beginning to rush forward towards you, the skittering and clattering of like their heavy carapace nails and claws on ice. He yells across to you,
Need someone to take the helm. Gotta find the path.
Jesus.
It's got to be our boy H. It's got to be our boy Hondo. Take
on
the
your
wheel,
turns,
Jesus.
these things will be decided. So this round, unless so Honda, if you take the helm, you can give it the 40 and an additional 10. So you, on your turn, if you use your action to steer and pilot, you will get 50 feet. As the ferryman on his turn has to make a check to try and perceive the path. Moving
Come on, ferryman.
Top of the round, actually. That was the end of the round. No, Gord actually has his turn because Allie pushed us over the edge. So the ferryman takes his turn here, and we're going to roll his check. That worked out nicely with the initiative. So the ferryman rolls his survival check to try and spot the secret pass. He does not roll well.
Ferryman.
As he kind of comes down from the helm, he runs to the bow, and it's beginning to look. It's just too choppy. He can't see it yet. Gord, we come to you. The first action on this side. What do you do?
Can Gord tie someone in?
Gord could tie. Well, Gord is tied, so he can't reach it.
Because he can't really move.
Yeah. So Gord can either row, or you can use, you can cast any spells you want. You can buff whatever, or you could, I don't know, do something other else that you want to throw out there.
I'll just keep rowing.
You got it.
Feverishly rowing.
10 feet for round 2. Used. Great. Top of the round. Let's have Brock, roll me a d20.
Oh, jeez.
Which regular old d20.
10.
Alrighty.
Right down the middle.
That's a fun one.
No.
As Gord rows, Mary, you begin to kind of pull yourself up to your feet to assess the situation. You drop down into this next level. And from across the maelstrom, you can see kind of coming up from that right side that you're closest to, a group of devils is running on ice floes. And you're watching as they are summoning ice walls that are like splashing down into the water to create paths towards you. And they're getting close and close, and then one of them reaches out and casts it, and it like flies out, like coalescing, and lands as a barrier stopping your passage 30 feet in front of you. Your ship will hit it. By the time the ferryman's turn comes in 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, the ship is going to hit that wall of ice.
And if I row, it could in theory be faster.
Yeah.
Smash into a can, right?
Crashing into the wall, obviously, is going to deal
Bad.
significant damage to the skiff, and it's going
Not
to
great.
throw people forward and potentially off the boat.
No.
Okay, I can't do anything about that. So I'll instead, could I use my turn to help Val up?
Okay.
And like, would it be reasonable to help him up and tie him to something?
Oh yeah,
Or-
for sure.
Okay, and then say, you got fucking force damage. That thing needs to go.
Okay. You use your action to prep Valentine and tie him down, and you have a bonus action.
Yeah. Oh, they came right before my turn, right? So that blockage is there, like visually, I can't see past it.
Not directly before you know. You can see like a wide arc around it all. It's a big hunk of ice, but there's still like a massive cave of things.
Okay,
around
well,
you,
I got
no
nothing else
direct path.
I got nothing else to use this turn for, so I'll use my bonus action. I was going to try to like help the ferryman by looking, like try to see if eye for detail.
Yeah, it's a secret passage that fits.
Yeah. So what would be better, an investigation or an perception?
I'm gonna call it investigation here.
Okay, that's better for me anyway. Not great. It's okay. It's very medium. I rolled an 11 on the dice, and my investigation is a plus 14.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a 25. What do you mean it's only okay?
For me, I mean, I rolled very medium, but yeah.
You finish tying up Valentine, and that's kind of near the bow of the ship, and the ferryman is like kind of coming up towards you as you're finishing. He's looking, and you see he's scanning, but it doesn't seem to have like fixated, and you see like he's in an active pursuit mode. But you can see he's kind of focused in this one like quarter, this one chunk, this section over here that he's looking at, and you instantly see it. Like you can see there are it's like an optical illusion. Like when you cross your eyes, you can just see like something's not right there, and it's like a perfect positioning of where the ice. There's like 2 ice walls that look like they connect, but really there's a gap between, and it's just like the filling in of more ice makes it look like it's a solid wall, but really it's a tunnel. And you just like reach over and just point right there, and he just, good eyes, lass.
Yeah, right by the thing. It looks like there's like a dick in the wall. That one.
Both Mary and the ferryman spot the point that the secret pass begins. Let's see. So that's the first check made. He needs to do another check. What is it? Oh, actually, we're going to have Hondo do that because he's at the helm. Perfect. Love it.
I am the captain now.
At Mary's turn. Hondo, we come to you as the captain. Do you make this action? You can actually make this action now to begin to... No, you can't. There's an ice wall in front of you. At the end of your turn, you could impact this wall unless you choose to take an action to slow the skiff. The skiff moves 40 naturally, and it's 30 feet in front of you. So you have to slow unless you interact. You could try and navigate around and continue your speed, but it's going to be a hard check to do so. Your choice.
I've captained many ships. The sloppy salmon has...
And that's sunk at the bottom of the sea, right?
The floppy salmon has endured many difficulties, many great storms. So I say we don't stop for anyone.
Oh my
So you're going to try and pilot around. Oh, Kevin is the best.
If
D&D
someone
player.
dies because of this decision, it's going to be very bad. It's going to be very bad.
Okay. So I want it to be... It's going to be 2
He's
checks.
proficient in water vehicles. That's
Of course.
He definitely is. That's why he's going to get advantage on the handling The first check is basically, I just want a straight survival check.
Okay.
So just straight survival, which is going to determine the DC at which you need to pilot.
Okay.
Like, what do you see the path to get around here? Survival.
So I rolled a 10, and
Okay.
I'm plus 6, so 16.
Okay. So
Not
kind
bad.
of like a medium mid-ground check. The speed at which you're traveling, you're already past the point where this would be easy. You're already past the point of like I need to basically like skid and go around. And in water, that's not how that works. So the DC for this, which I'm gonna set as a dexterity check with proficiency. So I think that's equal to your dexterity saving throw, essentially. I'm going to set it at, it would be 25. You rolled a 16, so I'm going to set it at a 23.
And sorry, can you say that again about the... So
With
my
advantage? Or no, the proficiency
with
was
proficiency.
instead of advantage. Okay.
so my so my dex check is
Save.
plus 5. Oh, save?
So basically what it is like I want a dexterity check, but with proficiency, you're proficient in dexterity saves. So if you want to just use one number, I'm pretty sure it's your
okay.
dex, you know what I mean? Like it's just both those come together.
So you have to roll above 11, I believe, to hit 23, because you add 12 to this.
You got to roll 23.
If you're giving it to him with proficiency, would his little thing count? I guess it doesn't matter. Even if you
What's
roll
his little
only
thing?
a 10. The thing where he
What's
gets
it?
a minimum of 10, but it doesn't matter because that's not going to be high enough.
That's not how that works.
We're just lawyering as much as we can.
It doesn't matter, even if he rolled a 10.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a 9.
Oh,
Thank God.
Jesus Christ.
Uh,
Fuck
Scott's
me,
going to have a heart
Kevin.
attack.
you
If we were
are
still playing in person, Scott and I would be pacing.
I'd be underneath the table right now. Jesus.
you are careening towards this wall and getting closer and closer and closer. And Marion, the ferryman, you guys are pointing over here and like catch it too late that you're like, oh shit, we're gonna hit this wall. And amazingly, Hondo fucking Tokyo drifts the skiff through the river Styx.
Cania drift.
I
Like
tell him, hold on!
slides right basically into the wall, but without actually like hitting it at full speed, and like kicks back, so like he begins to kind of come around. I do still want everyone on board because of this erratic maneuver to make dexterity saving throws.
No
But
matter
because
whatever's
of-
in front of you, hug it now!
Because of Hondo's success, I have lowered the DC a little bit from a very hard potential DC of where this would have been.
Oh, God. Dex?
Dexterity saving throw from everybody. If you are tied, you have advantage on this.
Okay.
So
Add 20
that's-
for my first one. Let's see if I get another one.
I'm going to
22.
Really? Yes! Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Let's go.
Kev, what's your inspiration?
Mine
6 or 8.
He's 8 now.
I rolled a 4 on the dice, so I'm probably going to use it.
It's 1d8.
Yeah, I'm going to use it.
Gord, you have advantage on your dexterity saving throw as well as Valentine has tied you. And Hondo, you don't have to make one because you did a cool thing, and I just.
It was pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
We're just waiting on Mary. Oh, and
The
Gord.
king of the wild cards, fucking Hondo the Blue.
15.
15.
Thank you. Inspiration.
With the inspiration of Hondo, just for fun flavor, I think the failure is like it's about to happen. As Hondo kicks the ship into the wall, but without actually hitting it, it kind of rides the wave up on it, and then begins to use that momentum to swirl around the other side of it. You are thrown, but you are just so dexterous, and with the Valkyrie armor, like you run up the wall and like leap
Oof.
back to the ship as he comes around the
So
other
sick.
side
So
and
cool.
like land 3-point landing.
I'm still screaming. No, why? Oh, no, why?
Hondo, if you use your action, you can get that additional. You get your full movement this round, and you can get an additional 10 feet.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
So, 60 feet achieved of the 100 feet to go.
That could have been bad.
Real bad.
So
It was
40
really
feet
cool
left.
though.
We don't tippy-toe around here. We go full foot.
I actually still need one more check from you.
From H?
From H.
What check would this be?
Oh, wait, no. Sorry. You still need to make the second drop and then go. So it's fine.
Okay.
We're not there yet. But Mary and the ferryman have spotted basically down the second drop. You want to start bringing things to the right. And so as you maneuver around this wall, you're making that way. So it's fine. Valentine, we come to you. Allie on deck.
I'm tied in, so I can't really move now. So I think I'll just probably like fire off some Eldritch Blasts at those baddies who are shooting at us.
Yeah.
If you want, I can roll them. I'm just really just trying to deter them. I'm just like...
No rolls necessary.
Yeah.
I'd say you probably hit most of them with your bonuses. If you wanted to, you could possibly like burn a single one down. Like you could focus fire all four and probably.
No, I want to spread it. I want to like deter them. Yeah.
Yeah, you send them kind of scattered back successfully, easily enough. But you do not row this round.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything for a bonus action?
No, Gord still has my inspo. I don't think. No, nothing.
No worries. Allie, come to you. What are you doing your turn?
I'm continuing to row.
Rowing for an additional 10. Go ahead and roll me. No, there's no point in getting you to roll the athletics because you're crazy.
You're strong as hell.
What if she crits though?
Could be cool.
Yeah. Now, if she rolls a 1, this is on you. Go ahead, Allie. Let's roll an athletics check.
Leah.
Okay. 20.
A nat 20?
A nat 20.
Oh
Was it really?
my
What?
god. Leah, great job. Allie, great job.
Today's been.
You can double that speed.
Today's been a day.
Using the momentum of Hondo's kind of drifting maneuver, you just perfectly positioned just to like double down on the rowing. And 10, 20, 30, 80 feet, 20 feet to go to the second drop.
23 to go.
The ferryman has already located the drop. Hondo's going to take the helm, so he's just going to use an action to row just off the side. So Gord, we come to Gord's turn. If you row on this turn, you guys will drop a second time and be within the kind of home stretch to the secret pass. Otherwise, it's another round of potential complications.
Let's do it.
Gord puts the last row in. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me.
$14.
Okay. 14 is enough on this check, so that's good. I thought I was looking at the wrong DC. Yeah. Hondo, this is going to be the last check as you're able to basically make the pass as you all drop into the drop. Everyone's going to make strength or dexterity. Again, your choice. If you are tied in, you have advantage on strength. And then, Hondo, I'm going to ask for a survival check with advantage.
All right. First roll 13 plus 6, 19.
Okay.
And with the second roll, a 12.
Okay, so 19. Okay. And everyone, strength or dexterity saving throws, just call them out.
21 dex.
Solid.
25 strength.
Safe.
Nice.
17. Dexterity.
Safe.
32 strength.
Yes, team. Yes,
Jesus.
team.
All of you fall a second time, and Hondo, you use that momentum as the drop to carry you forward and towards what looks like it should be like an ice sheet of wall. Like it's as you drop down this second kind of waterfall, there's a jut out where there's a cave kind of opening in this wall, and it looks like it should just be a big chunk of ice, but instead you slip through slalom-like into a kind of back and forth slalom of corkscrewing tunnels of ice and water of the Styx. You guys follow through this kind of back and forth jostling run, but now the Styx has more or less fallen behind, not seeming to continue down here. Suddenly the disguises are dispersed, faded away. Pardon me. And you all see yourselves once more.
My hair back?
Nope, that's gone. Perpetually now. She used affliction. You can't even grow it back.
I didn't use affliction. I might have scissors. I have some better tool in like my tinker's
I would be
tools,
terrified of you
affliction.
using affliction. It'd be so
I
scary.
imagine my tinker's tools have something.
Nope, only swords. You're kind of back and forth on this slalom of odd ice tunnels, jagged spires that you have to kind of duck and watch out for. And then Hondo, as you're just kind of like trying your best to maneuver and react, all of you watch as the brilliant kind of blues that have all been around in this kind of like very clear crystalline ice tunnel. You can see at the edge a ruddy brown that begins to grow, and suddenly you're in free fall, all of you. Dexterity saving throws across the board.
Oh my god.
Grab the rope.
Hey,
The rope
22
is
for
not
this
going to
kid?
help you here.
Great.
16.
20.
Run plus 12.
Raleigh?
28.
21.
17.
Okay.
Okay, so
You have inspiration still if you feel like you need it. I don't know if you need it because that's a decent roll. But
you are thrust out of this slalom and into a free fall as you drop from the winding fathoms of Cania through this secret pass over top Nessus, the 9th layer of hell. There are only so many ways to make your way into this awful domain. And you've chosen one that involves a 60-foot free fall. Just for fun.
Cool, why not?
The skiff falls away in front of you as all of you plummet. All of you manage to kind of tumble and land without significant damage. However, Allie, where you tumble and fall, you land on some like heavy impacted rock and ice shards that have like all accumulated from various falls. You all watch the ferryman slam and get like impaled through by one of these ice shards. All of you take
Bonesy.
all of you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall, but Alana, you take an additional 14 points from the ice shards that jab and stab into you.
You had temp HP, so that's probably all gone now, probably.
The skiff is just smoked and smattered and shattered across the ice and rock, just falls apart, and in a cloud of dust, you now lay in an offshoot cavern of the Reaper's Canyon in Nessus. You'll need to now navigate the labyrinthian rift in the wasteland of Nessus' surface. There are jagged, rocky chasms and pathways to find your way through here. And you know, even with the quick fall, you have a long way to go. You'll need to figure that out properly in a moment. But travel down here is going to be treacherous. Any eyes on are eyes that the devil can look through. Being spotted gives away your element of surprise. You land here, pull yourselves up. What do you do?
I go check on Bonesy just quick. Is he fucking dead? Is he
Dude.
deader than he was dead?
The icicle is like shattered through his rib cage if he had one. And as you kind of go to tap him, he just kind of
Oh!
and he just begins to kind of look.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't move. I don't know. You're not supposed to move when it's. I think you. Oh God. You okay?
A pleasure doing business with you.
Hey, great. Thanks again. Thanks for the trip.
Think you need a new ride?
I'll be fine.
And he just turns and begins to walk in one direction.
Honestly, really nice guy. 5 stars.
Before we end tonight's session, so we're going to be ending here, there's an element to this next navigation that I kind of want to establish before we get to it, and that is gaining your distance, your timing, and your understanding of the layout. Essentially, what's going to happen here is you need to get an aerial perspective overlooking the Reaper's Canyon, the Labyrinth, and across the plains of Nessus to see where your path lie. You've been told your path is to travel from the Reaper's Canyon, through the Reaper's Canyon, to the Bridge of the Damned, across the spawning grounds, and to the base of Mal'Shin, the citadel of Mal'Shin, which is Asmodeus' tower, lies the entrance to the coil. So basically, if you can reach the base of the tower, you can find the entrance to the coil. So what I would like is, however you wish to go about doing it, someone gets an aerial perspective and makes a survival check. The survival check, basically the threshold of the survival check, the better the survival check, the less time, basically the easier path you can find, and the easier and less encounters you could face along the way.
I mean, I could do it because I roll Bardic, and I can use the wings and pop them back.
Could also potentially get the carpet out if we send 2 people up. Someone could potentially get advantage. How would that work?
We could do
The
that.
only element I will add to this again is being spotted.
Yeah.
Through it.
So if there's a way to invisible or to disguise or something.
Ooh, I could go. Do I still have invisibility, or one of you could cast invisibility on
I have
me?
invisibility.
I have invisibility, so I could cast invisibility on myself, fly up, have a survival check, come back down.
That works.
Let's do it. I'll burn a second.
You're invisible for an hour. That could come in handy.
Yep. Pop out the wings. Fly
Easy
up.
enough. Even though you're invisible, some things in this realm can see through.
Sure.
So I'd still like a stealth check with advantage, given the invisibility, and I will roll my potential at disadvantage, potential perception of disadvantage.
Okay.
But go ahead and roll your stealth, please.
I'm going to add a peerless skill because it could be better.
Wow.
You rolled an advantage?
Yep. 28.
Okay. I'm gonna look at some stats really quick, just to get for myself. Okay. Wow. Okay. And then follow it up with a survival.
Survival? Probably going to burn a peerless on this too. Should I? No, I won't. It's 28. I got 18 on the dice and then add 10.
The canyon before you, known as Reaper's Canyon, as I kind of described before, is a labyrinthian rift in the wasteland of Nessus. You can see the snaking pathways of jagged rock chasms that lay directly before you as a shifting mass of like knotted, almost it looks like bramble from above, but you know it to be rock paths. In this offshoot pass, you can see there's small pools of the river Styx where it has come through ice shards that have rapidly melted beneath the unyielding heat and clouds of soot and smoke that drift all around. And from this secret passage, you can see numerous directions that you could begin to travel. But with the survival and with the confidence of invisibility in your wings, you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to confidently just scope out a little bit and really hone your half-elven eyes to see a pass through the Reaper's Canyon and the coil itself. Now you can't see the coil, but you can see the Dark Tower of Melsheen. It lays about 4 miles from you at a slow pace, which this will be. That's probably 2 hours, given encounters along the way. You're not sure, obviously, that could take longer, but as the bird flies, you'd hit 2 hours, but there's plenty of potential for stoppages and having to slow down for elements along the way. So you wager between 2 to 4 hours, all said and done, you could reach your destination comfortably. In terms of the grander clock of things, it took you an hour of travel on the Styx, and then, we'll call it 15-20 minutes of negotiation and talking, and then a minute to get here. So when this is all done, an hour and a half have passed, and we're getting into 2.5 hours left until the time catches up.
You say 2.5?
Yeah. The canyon itself, you can see a path that is about 1.5 miles, and you're pretty confident that you can see a relatively hazardless path through, though you don't get great detail down on the ground level. You can at least see, hopefully not get caught in a dead end. You can also see at the other end of that 1.5 miles, where the canyon kind of reaches an edge, there's a great gap, a gorge that cuts across massively. You imagine the Bridge of the Damned to be across this gorge somewhere along it that you'll get a better eye on the other side of. And at a distance, the spawning grounds themselves, you can see what look like, at an aerial view, basically farmlands, fields of rows of, you have to assume aren't crop, but it's what you're, the closest approximation you can make. However, at the end of a couple of groupings of fields, you can see these massive kind of, they look like small mountains, but more rounded and squishy is the best you could from a distance.
Yucky. And
then the Dark Tower itself lies still impressively tall at this range, multiple miles away. It's like a massive green infernal iron spike in the distance. And even at this range, you can see motes of fire and light around many different crevices, windows, and around the top of the wreath of flame. But with a 28, is that your roll? 28?
Yeah, it's actually 28 for both, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. You are confident you can find a path through the canyon safely. What were you going to ask?
Is the Serpent's Coil beneath the Dark Tower?
The entrance to the coil is near the base, so as long as you can find your way to the base of the tower, you'll be able to find the coil. It's the entrance. And as you return to the party with a direction in mind and a loose idea of how to navigate the Reaper's Canyon, but without exactly what you'll face. We'll find out next time.
That was intense, gang. Oh, God.
Wow. We
That's
rolled
fun.
well tonight, and I think it's gonna catch up with us.
We
No,
rolled really
get
well.
out of here. Get that out of here.
Gosh.
Brawl
Yeah,
had
there's a
some
lot of
clutch
those.
rolls where I was really worried about Brawl. I was like, oh yeah, 22 decks. It's like, oh my God.